Hey everyone, me Kevin here. So a lot of you have been asking me what my thoughts are on Tesla and the Tesla Model S Plaid event that happened yesterday, the first 25 deliveries of which went out yesterday, which is super exciting for Tesla. It's a move in the right direction to launch a new car, and especially one as powerful as the Model S Plaid. The Model S Plaid, in case you haven't seen it yet, take a look just at the website here. The Model S Plaid, boasting of a 390-mile range, 1.99 seconds, 0 to 60, 1,020 horsepower, and this a new reformed interior where you have a horizontal screen, all standardized parts, so we could use the same parts in the Cybertruck, the new S's, X's, and the 3s and Y's. Everything gets the same interior, including this yoke steering wheel, which is half size, so that way you have more visibility of your screen and your surroundings, especially during autopilot use, which is very important given that we expect these cars to be used with autopilot a lot more. So a lot of you have been wondering, am I going to get the Model S? What do I think about the Model X? And why is it that Tesla stock is not moving? So let's go ahead and answer all of these. I do want to mention that tomorrow I will be in San Francisco. That is June 12th, holding a campaign rally. If you want to come, make sure to sign up. Go to meetkevin.com. There's a button for you to sign up for the San Francisco or the Los Angeles one. Click the button, sign up for whichever event. It's totally free to come to, and I'd love to have you. It's 4 p.m. each day. All right, folks. So on the S here, will I be getting one? Well, let me tell you this. First things first, you got to know that the Model S Plaid has this standardized mirror in it, which the Ys and Model 3s have as well, which does include an interior cabin camera, which has begun starting to enforce autopilot usage. And so here's what I mean by that. If you Google cabin camera, autopilot, Tesla, you'll see that previously the autopilot camera was actually off and not used. And it was really just there to start training the algorithm that Tesla uses so that their neural net understands whether or not you are actually paying attention to the road. But what we have here is a USA Today piece from May 28th that says Tesla activated their cabin cameras for monitoring drivers during autopilot use. And this here says the move qualifies as something as a concession towards safety watchdogs who have criticized the company for not doing enough to prevent drivers from misusing its autopilot feature. This obviously comes after we've had many instances where autopilot was blamed for people climbing into the back of the car while having autopilot on and blatantly disregarding safety rules, which is unfortunate because it's really an example of Tesla being forced to basically punish everyone on behalf of safety watchdogs for a few knuckleheads who are totally misusing the device. For example, this article talks about how in GM's Cadillac Super Cruise system, the vehicle will even come to a complete halt if the driver does not respond. Now, we don't yet know how Teslas respond if you don't pay attention or your eyes aren't on the road, but the assumption is that they probably kick you out of autopilot or stop the car, kind of like the car does now when you don't jiggle the steering wheel enough. I have an older 2017 Model X, which I've had for 3.5 years now, and I've watched autopilot evolve and get really, really good. Let me tell you, this system here, which is the Super Cruise system, it to me seems a little excessive and annoying. For example, there's this camera right here on the steering wheel, and when this individual covers up the camera, the wheel starts flashing the green, which indicates, hey, you need to prove that you're paying attention, and then it flashes red to essentially warn that the car is going to stop or discontinue the use of autopilot. Personally, I think this is excessive. That is because I've used autopilot so much that I've come to find if, let's say you're in the carpool lane on the left lane, which is not a passing lane when it's a carpool lane, and you've got your distance set to 7 seconds behind the car in front of you, you've got plenty of room. And really what you're doing is you're paying attention to your right and your sort of right front to make sure that traffic in front of you isn't slowing down and that traffic to your side isn't coming to cut you off. Really, the need for you to stare at the road consistently is a little less. If anything, it can lead to making you more drowsy and pay attention less. Whereas if you're, let's say, in a driver's seat, and let's say this is the road, so you're the road here, and let's say I'm having a conversation with a passenger next to me, I could occasionally look over at them while still having my peripheral vision paying attention to the road to see if I'm getting cut off or traffic is slowing down as the car is driving. And you could do that with your hand on the wheel so that way you're ready to re-engage if at any point you need to. This is very normal, it's very natural when a car is on autopilot. But to be on autopilot and then to essentially have your eyes force glued to the road is really doubly boring than just straight driving. Now, some people actually just like straight driving, and that's fine. I'm not trying to say that liking driving is a bad thing. That's fine. Well, what I am trying to say is, if you're driving and you're actually actively driving, then great. Like, you're engaged. You're driving, you're engaged, everything. But if the car is on autopilot, and now you're just sitting there staring the road like a really boring, silent movie, in my opinion, it takes away from the purpose of having autopilot. If I can move my eyes freely and take a look at different aspects of the road or briefly look at the person next to me, I should be able to do that on autopilot while still being able to maintain control of my field of vision and my peripheral and my reflexes and ability to take control of the car if I need to. Now, maybe I have too much trust in the Tesla autopilot system. It is not full self-driving yet. We are not at that level yet. But to me, having my 2017 Tesla Model X means I don't have this camera system. So for me, I'm not upgrading to the Model S. In fact, I'd rather just take my money and throw it into Tesla stock anyway. I'm gonna keep my old Tesla Model X. I don't know, maybe I'll get tempted by the Cybertruck, but quite frankly, I barely drive right now. It's mostly making YouTube videos, fly to where I gotta go, fly to destinations to talk to people and interview people, and then I'm sitting here again. So my driving is very little. Maybe I'd feel differently about buying it if I was driving a lot more. So I'm not gonna be buying one. But I did want to get that out about my thoughts about the camera. I think the newer models, unfortunately, this is just the direction the industry is heading, and it's one that I think is a little excessive. Now, with that out of the way, what do we actually think about the event? Well, look, the event was great. We have a new model that we have delivered, and this is absolutely wonderful. We want to see new deliveries of new vehicles. But when is the stock actually going to move? And this might be something y'all care about, is when is the stock actually going to move? Well, in my opinion, here's how this is going to work. So this is Tesla's last presentation, and we can see that S and X production came in at 0. Which makes sense. We came in at 0 for Q1 2021, which ignore this 2020 here. This was an annotation I made the last time I filmed, using this presentation. But anyway, we have 0 deliveries for 2021 of the S and X. That's of course because we've revamped the production lines to accommodate the new Tesla Model S and the revamped Model X. And so the issue with this is, when in a quarter previously we were delivering 16,000 units or even 6,000 before, with now delivering 0, our average cost per vehicle has plummeted. And that unfortunately hurts Tesla's profitability, of course, and you would expect it to hurt Tesla's margin. But what's been absolutely incredible is that Tesla's actually maintained their vehicular margin despite not having the more expensive S's and X. And what's incredible is, despite having these lower margin vehicles, if you go to the section where it says automotive gross margin excluding regulatory credits, you'll actually see that margin in Q1 2021 went up at Tesla despite not having the more expensive models. So think about it like this. Let's say you got a 0 on your term paper and your grade point average went up. That would mean that all of a sudden all of your other papers just got a whole lot better. All of your other processes at Tesla just got a whole lot more efficient. And this makes sense because remember, we're standardizing so much at Tesla now that it would make sense margins go up, as we have the most standardized interior of a car that has really ever existed between 4 different models, soon to be 5 different models when the Cybertruck comes out, which is absolutely incredible. Now, of course, we did have a margin decline going into COVID. This is understandable. So we are kind of more just like showing this recovery back to where we had been. So this could have a little bit of a skew here. But the fact that we got a 0 and margin still went up is very, very good. So when do we start seeing price reaction and price movement when it comes to this new vehicle that has been released? Okay, so to answer this question, we have to understand what Elon Musk projected. So to conservatively understand that, let's do this. Elon Musk says that we should be able to deliver 700 units per week pretty darn soon. So for the next quarter, since we're only starting halfway in, let's go with 700 for 6 weeks as part of, well, actually, we only have June left, and they're just now getting delivered. So quite frankly, you only have 3 weeks left in the quarter. So you're really only going to see somewhere around, if you're lucky, 2,000 of these Model S units get delivered in this quarter. That's going to help push our margins up a little bit in Q2, but where this is going to become much more important is actually going to be Q3. See, by Q3, Elon Musk thinks we're going to be able to deliver 1,000 units plus of these vehicles, which on a quarterly basis should lead us to get to around 12,000 to 15,000 units per quarter. And if you notice, that's going to be roughly in line with where we were before. Now, ideally, this number actually starts growing as well, and we start getting to somewhere around 20,000 deliveries per quarter, because that would show a large appetite for this new hyper-fast car and pretty incredible car. Now, when that occurs and we are able to start filling in 12,000 over here, 15,000, 20,000, I expect vehicular margin to go up substantially above what we've had previously. Because what we've had previously, again, has been this vacillating margin here for various different reasons. COVID absolutely having an impact. The shutdown of the Model S and X lines hurting over here. So I would expect, especially with this increase in efficiency over here, despite those lines being down, I would expect that margin is going to return not only to this 23.7%, but it's probably going to return to an even larger number. If we can get to a new margin level of somewhere around 25% by either Q3 or Q4, I think Tesla is easily an $800 to $900 stock again, and I wouldn't be surprised if in a year from now we're sitting at $1,500 to $2,000, because then all of a sudden we're going to have this massive period of Tesla FUD behind us. We're going to know, hey, did the Tesla Model S's, the new ones, did they fall apart? Did they have quality control issues? Did the new batteries, if they're using the new batteries, burst into flames? How is the new car? How are Tesla's latest engineering standards? And so this is going to be a really big test moment for Tesla. And so as long as Tesla survives this test and we start delivering these vehicles in Q3 and 4, I expect Tesla's margin to go up substantially. And when Wall Street realizes, oh my gosh, there's a brilliance to having a standardized interior across all of your 4 to 5 different models, Wall Street, I think, is going to really reward Tesla. So I'm very enthusiastic about Tesla, certainly over the next 12 months. I think we've had one heck of an extended buying opportunity here, close to this $550 to $620 range. I think this is a steal. Quite frankly, I think under $700 is a bargain for this company. It does trade for about 54 times 2025 estimated earnings, but I do think Wall Street's estimations are low for Tesla's earnings. So I am personally pricing this at closer to 40 times 2025 earnings. And as a result, I really believe that here's a company that has a lot of growth coming for it. And we're really just at the beginning of the S-curve. We're at the beginning of the exponential curve of Tesla's production. People see the stock price and say, oh, well, Tesla's already gone to the moon. Yeah, but their production is literally right here. Like, we're just getting started. This year, we expect to break 1 million units produced. We're probably going to get to 10 million produced within the next 8-9 years here. So we'll see how things develop, but I'm super excited about this course, and I see that exponential growth ahead of us. So there you have my opinion on the Tesla event, my opinion on the Model S. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this content helpful, consider subscribing, checking out my programs linked down below, and folks, we'll see you in the next one. See you at that rally as well. Thanks. Bye.